How's it going, everyone? Today we're going to be looking into Sambal Shiok by Mandy Yin. Malaysian cooking is a wonderful culture to learn and how to cook a lot of stuff in. They're known for their Hainanese chicken, of course, across the board, but there's something I'm looking into today called Prawn Sambal. It's a nice, spicy, and creamy dish. You're not going to need a lot of stuff for this other than these things you're going to see here, some ginger, some Thai basil leaves, and some tiger prawns. But because it's the weekend and I kind of wanted to really look into this culture a little bit and verse myself in other things, I'm going to go a little hard this weekend on a lot of other dishes. So I'm going to show you how to do two more dishes too, because I feel like I want to dedicate this episode to Akira Toriyama, the creator of Dragon Balls, as he has passed recently. So I'm going to make some food worthy of Goku and Vegeta's eating habits and just hopefully not put on too much weight. But I'm going to also show you guys how to create some very simple things if you're cooking all this and have bought all this for a lot of other people. And if you think for some reason that I'm just some old person who doesn't know what this stuff is, let me be very clear. I've been watching this show since I was 5 years old. It was the first show and the first anime I really got into as a child. I used to have to sneak it on Saturday mornings at 6 a.m. on a box TV. Some of you may know what that is, some of you may not, but this is just my Funko collection. And we have our tiger prawns. Clip off the head, pinch the tail, open the shell, pull out the shrimp. This isn't too hard, but it is time consuming, so make sure to always get your prep done. Once you got the shell off, you're going to want to make a small cut down the spine of the shrimp itself and get that, yes it is, the poop chute. You want to get that out of there because that stuff tastes nasty. No one needs that. Once your stuff is clean, you can use the shells for a broth or you can use the heads for frying. And yes, this did actually happen. I dropped these shortly after on the floor, so they were not usable. Lemongrass is very tough, so you're going to beat it with a big mallet or something really hard to open it up. Take out the outer stems and take out the insides. Now that I have my lemongrass, ginger, leaves all chopped up, 1 cup of coconut milk, some ketchup, and of course a whole container of sambal. Make sure to read the recipe before you do this, as I did this backwards. I mixed my spice in with water when I was supposed to mix it in with a frying oil that we're going to be using in a second for the ginger and the lemongrass. But it actually did turn out quite nice anyway. You're going to use some neutral oil, something that doesn't have a lot of smoke to it, so usually some vegetable oil is perfectly fine. Once your herbs and everything are browned up, we're going to add this to our mix. We're going to start stirring it in, and we're going to start simmering it down for about 20 to 30 minutes. Once you've let it all cook down a little bit, we're going to add our coconut milk, we're going to add our Thai basil, we're going to add everything pretty much the recipe calls for and stir it in. And again, we're going to simmer this for a little bit too so the flavor can all attach itself together. A whole container of sambal, it calls for 10 ounces, that was 8. So if you really want to max out on the heat, you can certainly add more to it. Like I said, we're going to let this go for a little while first before we add in the shrimp because, again, I dropped my prawns. But, again, I mentioned that we were going to do something else. So this is fairly simple. Get some pork belly. You're going to cut it in uniform, which means pretty much you're going to want to cut it at the same time so it's all the same shape so it doesn't cook off and or oddly compared to anything else. Make some cubes, get your pork belly ready, and we're going to go back to our prawns in a second. So again, like I said, I didn't have my prawns, so I had to run out and get some raw, regular shrimp. Always use raw, don't use the stuff that's cooked or cocktail shrimp or anything like that because it's going to get overcooked and it's going to taste like plywood or texture of. Notice how I got the broth going already, so this is what you can do ahead of time before you get your pork belly ready to go. Start your broth. Anything left over you have from this recipe and or other things like I've been doing this weekend with a lot of things, use it for your broth. Now that the sambal shrimp are ready, we're going to put it on the side and let it rest for an hour before we reheat it and ready to serve with everything else. Now we're going to get to the good stuff. I love pickled cucumbers with pretty much everything. This is a very simple recipe I use for mine. You can certainly adjust it how you wish. You can add a lot of stuff to this, like some garlic, some peppercorns, make it spicy, make it more sweet, wherever you wish. Even more vinegar, obviously, because you want that stuff to bite through fat, which is what it is really good for. I also like to use a little bit of Korean chili flakes because that gives it a nice flavor too, makes it kind of pretty once you put it on your cucumbers. Don't forget to smash. Just think Hulk. Smash, exactly. Now we're going to put this in our cucumbers. We're going to let this sit for about 2 hours. Longer would always be better. Tea is always a must on my days off or when I'm home. I'm not much of a coffee drinker unless I'm at work. You can figure that out for yourself. So we're going to get some tea going for myself, and we're going to be using some of this tea later for the pork belly. That's right, the pork belly. I'm going to show you guys how to braise pork belly in tea and a lot of flavor going on. It's going to come out real juicy. If you are one of those people that do not like fat, though, this dish is probably not for you. Notice how it's got the fat lining in it still, but it's nice and tender because it's boiled down so that loosened it up. We're going to use a little bit of sesame oil to brown them. And then, like I said, we're going to braise this with a couple things, but tea more than anything. That little bit of acid is going to cut through this too, but then we're going to cover that also with some Shaoxing wine, which is kind of salty. I would not suggest drinking this first, but take my word for it, it's salty. Going to add in some flavoring here too. You can add other flavors to go with this. There's lots of ways to do this. But tea braising is certainly something I do enjoy. A little bit of brown sugar to give it some more color and some more sweetness too to cover the tea that we're about to add to it. Now we're going to let this sit and we're going to let this burble for a while. Again, I have a lot of leftover stuff because I'm doing multiple dishes this weekend. Just remember to pair your stuff with the flavor profiles you are cooking for. Now, this is something I was really excited about because it's kind of hard to find these sometimes, and finding soft shell crabs in Chicago at this point of the year is hard too. These things are they're going to do something to you. If you don't like fried things or a bunch of little crunchy legs rolling around in your mouth, you might not like this. But these are actually the type of crabs and or soft shell ones they use for sushi and such. So if you like sushi, you should be able to eat these. But again, like I said earlier, fry the shrimp heads. These things are going to crunch and they're going to feel like butter in your mouth. You can put this on top of your food too if you like. We're also going to be making a hot sauce, equal parts, everything like this. Again, you want a little bit of bite, so add some more acid. Lime really helps. Remember to have all your prep ready to go before you start plating and everything else on the side. Cooking this stuff is not that hard. If you know how to fry, you can fry these crabs. Sambal's warmed up and ready to go, and we are about to eat. Warm sake just increases the flavor for pretty much everything I'm eating this weekend, and the people who are going to be eating it with me, and some of the stuff I'm going to be giving my neighbors too. Everyone, thanks for stopping by again. Take care, and don't forget about Kira. Like a lot of things in life, just needs a little hot sauce.